For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Vice President Democrat Kamala Harris and Republican Donald Trump will hold dueling campaign events tonight in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Harris also campaigns in two other parts of the state, Janesville and Little Chute today. Trump to stop in Warren, Michigan. Campaigning in the Southwest, including the swing state of Arizona and in New Mexico, Trump reiterated insults at Harris Thursday, personally attacking her in New Mexico.
Yeah, I shouldn't say this about an opponent, but I have to. Because you know what? We can't take a chance on her. She's dumb as a rock. She's dumb as a rock.
And during a stop in Glendale, Arizona, in conversation with right-wing show host Tucker Carlson, Trump took aim at former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who's endorsing Harris, saying she should be shot in the face.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
His comments come a day after Trump vowed to protect women, whether they like it or not, from immigrants, which sparked condemnation from Harris. On the campaign trail in Michigan, Harris warned of a Trump presidency after Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson vowed to scrap the Affordable Care Act.
Insurance companies could go back to a time when they would deny you coverage for health insurance based on pre-existing conditions such as you being a survivor of breast cancer, asthma, diabetes. And what I know is that the American people, regardless of who they're voting for, know the importance of the Affordable Care Act, as it is also called Obamacare, in terms of expanding people's coverage to health care. Based on a fundamental principle that I hold deeply, access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it.
More from Catherine Carley.
During a campaign stop in Pennsylvania, House Speaker Mike Johnson said if Trump wins, there will be massive reforms to the Affordable Care Act. He told supporters Obamacare could be eliminated as part of an aggressive first 100 days in office.
We want to take a blowtorch to the regulatory state, okay? Yeah. I mean, these agencies have been weaponized against the people. No. It's crushing the free market.
Republicans repeatedly attempted to repeal the ACA during Trump's term, but never found a workable replacement. I'm Catherine Carley for Pacifica Network and Public News Service.
Thousands of North Korean troops are in Russia, including the Kursk region that Ukraine seized in a surprising attack months ago. U.S. Secretaries of Defense and State spoke on the issue Thursday, warning they anticipate the soldiers will begin fighting Ukraine in the coming days. Christopher Martinez reports.
There are some 10,000 North Korean soldiers in total in Russia. As many as 8,000 of those North Korean forces have been deployed to the Kursk region.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken described the scope of North Korea's troop involvement.
We've not yet seen these troops deploy into combat against Ukrainian forces, but we would expect that to happen in the coming days. Russia has been training DPRK soldiers in artillery, UAVs, basic infantry operations, including trench clearing, indicating that they fully intend to use these forces in frontline operations.
Defense Secretary Austin put those numbers in the context of Russia's battlefield casualties of about 1,200 per day.
The number 10,000 kind of pales in comparison to those kinds of casualties. So this 10,000 won't come close to replacing the numbers that the Russians have lost. And again, I think they're at a point now that if they got to go seeking for assistance to a country like the DPRK, then I think they have some problems.
Austin and Blinken say the U.S. will be announcing more military aid to Ukraine in the coming days. Reporting for Pacifica Radio News KPFA, I'm Christopher Martinez.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken also said they're trying to ascertain what North Korea is receiving from Russia in exchange for its troop deployment, as he condemned the North's test of an intercontinental ballistic missile Thursday, long enough to reach mainland U.S., a reported first. The death toll in eastern Spain from flash flooding is now at 205 after rain poured as much as a year's worth in a matter of hours, causing widespread devastation in southern Valencia. The death toll is expected to rise as search and rescue efforts continue, with many streets blocked by piled-up vehicles and debris, in some cases trapping residents in their homes. Some places still lack electricity, running water, or stable telephone connections. In Gaza, Israeli airstrikes in the central Gaza Strip killed at least 25 Palestinians, including children at a school turned shelter today. In Lebanon, Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 24 people in the northeast, including the Bekaa Valley. This as Israel forced the evacuation of the entire ancient town of Baalbek, a UNESCO heritage site, sending people to the north. I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.